Hello everybody, welcome to another Mr. Bun video. The purpose of this video is to explain the purpose and how to use in-text citations and the purpose and how to use a works cited page. Okay, so the current lab that we are working on is how does pickling affect the strength of an eggshell? We want to know how does increasing the days that we spend, pickling an egg in vinegar, how does it affect how far it can fall in centimeters without breaking? Okay, so I did a little web search. I want to know about the strength of an egg, just the natural strength of a chicken egg. And I came upon this website here. It is phys, short for physics.org. And it looks like a lady by the name of Ruth Milne wrote a little article about how strong is an egg. So I'm going to look through here, I'm going to evaluate this source, figure out, is it a good source? Is it just garbage? Is it clickbait? We don't want any of that. But, looking through, she seems to be, a good writer. She is referencing a bunch of good sources, so that's good. So I can look through and pull out information. And this piece of information right here in this second paragraph looks like some pretty good stuff. It says the function of the eggshell is to protect the embryo from the environment, but it cannot be too strong, otherwise the chick would not be able to break out and hatch. Okay, so that would be really good when I'm talking about my introduction. I'm talking about eggs, I'm talking about pickling, why we're doing all this. And even this point right here, chicken eggs were found to have a compression strength of 100 pounds. I think that's what I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this information and I'm going to write it down, okay? I'm not even going to copy and paste it into my paper because that can lead to problems if I forget to cite it. But I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to write it down. Okay, so here I am in my digital notebook. You can use a digital notebook, you can use a regular old paper notebook, whatever you want. But once again, I'm not going to copy and paste that information because if I do that, it can lead to problems if I forget to cite it or if I, cite it incorrectly. So I'm just going to write it down. I researched the fact at phys.org that chicken eggs
were found to have a compressive strength of 100, not 110, come on, everyone, of 100 pounds.
Okay, now, before I do anything, I need to go ahead and put quotes around it because if I don't, it is quite likely that I could forget to put quotes on it. And where did I get that? I could just go ahead and write, I found that at phys.org. Okay, and I'm just taking notes here. This isn't what I'm going to turn in. I'm not writing my paper yet. I'm just taking notes. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I have given the appropriate in-text citation. Okay, now an in-text citation. Some people will call it a parenthetical citation, but the in-text citation is the first chance I give to give the author credit, okay? Anytime that I'm researching and I'm using someone else's ideas, anytime I'm using someone else's words, anytime I'm using someone else's work, or someone else's thoughts, all of these must be given credit, okay? They're not my ideas, not my work, not my words, not my thoughts. And whoever worked on it, they want to be given credit. They could have spent a lot of money researching, or it could be, some work that they're very, very proud of. So academic honesty requires us to give credit. And we give credit in two ways. The first way we do it is with an in-text citation. After we give the fact, we immediately give credit. And next, we're going to work on how to give credit at the very end with a full source with a works cited page. But right now we're going to work on the in-text citation. Okay, so here's my fact. Now, what I want to do is, first of all, think about where this information came from and how I can give credit. So the first thing I have to think about is who wrote the information. So I'm going to go back to my website here. I'm going to go back to phys.org and I'm going to look for an author. Who wrote this? And there she is right there. How strong is an egg? Ruth Milne. So I need to make sure that when I'm doing my research, I write down the author's name. And this author was Ruth Milne. M-I-L-N-E. Okay, and so all I have to do to give my in-text citation is after I've given my fact, all I have to do is put in parentheses the author's last name, and her name was Milne, M-I-L-N-E. Now, a couple little things I have to change. You know, the period is going to go after the in-text citation, so I just move my period. Whoops. I move my period after the author's name, and I'm all good, okay? So I have a direct quote, so I made sure I used quotation marks. I gave the fact, I closed quotation marks, opened parentheses, gave the author's last name, closed parentheses, and a period. And that's a perfect in-text citation, okay? If I was to paraphrase it, you know, not use the author's exact words, but put it in my words, but still use their ideas or their thoughts, even though it's not exactly in their words, I would still need to give an in-text citation. It would look exactly the same, I just wouldn't have the quotation marks. Now, the next thing we're going to do is look at how we are going to create our works cited entry. Works cited entry. Okay, now all of this can be found in a MLA format that stands for Modern Language Association. Some of your other classes or other schools or whatever may use APA or Chicago or something else, but the format that we use is all described in MLA format. It's just a way to organize all of our components of our paper, how to write it, how to give credit, etc., etc. So what I want to think about is, where did this information come from? What kind of source was it? Who wrote it? When did they write it? And even when did I look at it? Okay, so some things that I want to start writing down when I do my research. First of all, who was the author? What is the name of the article? What is the name of the website? When was it published? What is the URL? Okay, what is the exact, set of numbers and letters that I can click and see that exact piece of information? And when was it accessed? A-C-C-E-S-S-E-D. When was it visited? When did I find that information? So we're going to go back to the website and see if we can look up all this information right here. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is find the author. That's right here in the middle. Her name is Miss Ruth Milne. Then the title of the article, How Strong is an Egg? Easy peasy, right there. The name of the website is just phys.org. It looks like it was produced or written on January 26, 2017. The URL, I will just copy the whole thing right here and paste it in. And then lastly, today is September 25th, so I accessed it. I looked at it at September 25th. That's important to put because sometimes the website may change, and we want to know when exactly it was that I looked at it. So let's go enter that information. Okay, author, once again, was Ruth Milne. The article was, what was the article? The article name was How Strong is an Egg? The website was phys.org. Okay, this is just the name of the website. I don't have to put, the full URL there. Okay, it was published on January 26, 2017. The URL, there's no need to write that. I'll just paste that in. And it was accessed today. Today is September 25th, 2017. And now we're going to start to create our full entry. So all the information for my works cited entry is all right here, right here at the top of this particular article. My author is going to be right there. That's Ruth Milne. The next thing I put, I'm going to put it in quotation marks, so I can go ahead and do that. But the title is going to be right there, easy peasy. I'm going to put the website name, that's phys.org. It was created, this particular article, drew through it, but you can find the creation date, the publishing date right there. That was January 26, 2017. The URL, if I click, this is just a screenshot, but the URL, the full long URL can be found right there. And that's really all I have to pull off the page. Easy peasy. All right, so here we are in Google Docs, and what I've done is I've pasted a little screenshot from where I took notes just to help me with it. Okay, so when we're using a website, an article on that particular website, we're going to we are going to create our in-text citation with the following information. Okay, now depending on your professor or whoever, it's very important that we get the periods and the commas and the italics and all that stuff right. So we're going to start off doing it correctly. Okay, the first thing we do is we are going to put the author. That was Miss Ruth Milne. We put her last name first, M-I-L-N-E, comma, space, Ruth. Then we put a period. We next are going to put the article title. Okay, make sure we capitalized all the main words in that particular title. Is How Strong is an Egg? How strong is an egg? We are going to put a period. We are going to close those quotations. Then we put the website name. The website name was simply phys, phys.org. And we make sure we put that in italics. Okay, after that, we are going to put another period. We're going to put another period. We're going to put a space, make sure our italics are off. And then we put the publishing date. Okay, when we put the publishing date, we put the day first, so 26th of January. And it was made in 2017. And then we put another period. Now, the only thing I'm really going to paste in my paper is going to be that big long URL. So I paste the URL and I take out the HTTPS. I have no idea what that stands for. Get rid of that. And then lastly, I'm going to put my access date. This is when I, Mr. Bunn, visited this particular website. It was accessed on the 25th of September 2020, period. And we're almost done here. When we have a works cited section in MLA format, we need to put the proper type of indentation. And that type of indentation is called a hanging indent. Basically, the first line is far to the left, and every other line is spaced over a little bit. The way we do that, we click, at least in Google Docs here, we click on Format, Align Indent, Indentation Options, Special Indent. We click it, we click Hanging, Apply, pow, and there we go. And what we have done here is created the perfect works cited entry. We've given credit in the report. That's called an in-text citation. We've given credit, a full credit, at the very end with all of that information. That is going to be in our works cited page. And there we go. If you have any questions, give me an email and have a great day.